Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane K. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 3, Am I My Brother's Keeper? The episode opens in Utah with Christine explaining how the whole family is going to a wedding. I'm assuming it's Logan and Michelle's wedding in Vegas. They don't want to be mentioned on camera. They don't want to be referenced. They don't want cameras there. So the bride says that Cody is probably not going to go to the wedding. So Christine doesn't know if Robin will show her face either. Christine, she doesn't necessarily want to be friends, but she wants to be friendly. She wants to be civil. It's a family event. She is nervous for the whole family to be together, understandably, because you never know what you're going to get with Cody, and nobody feels like tolerating his bullshit and walking on eggshells, I'm sure. Now, Cody spoke with the bride and groom, Logan and Michelle, and he let them know he wasn't attending because of all of the hate he is getting from the family members. He would rather hide in shame than attend his son's wedding. He wants to hide. Cody blames not wanting to go on the shit talk from Christine and Janelle. Kotex bitches that they're all culpable in this. Victim Kotex isn't the only one. He wants us all to know he's not the only one who's culpable. So basically, Cody wants to decline to go to this family wedding of his first son. He's blaming shit-talking, Christine and Janelle's shit-talking, as the reason he doesn't want to go. Instead, he'd rather hide his face and cower like the coward he is, because Cody is afraid of the criticism he will get from the family members. That sounds like Cody, the ballless wonder, hiding in Flagstaff, preferring to hide, preferring convenience, preferring to uphold his ego rather than being a man, showing up and taking accountability at this wedding. Cody isn't man enough to even show up. He doesn't want to. Now, Cody is trying to remeasure the lots on Coyote Pass. He's trying to find the best configuration for the lots by himself without consulting his ex-wives or Robin. He doesn't know what is best. He's not sure how to reconfigure things. Cody should not be reconfiguring anything on his own without his wife Robin and his ex-wives there, considering they're all on the line to pay this off and they're all attached to this land legally. So Cody should have them there involved in the experience with a surveyor figuring out what everybody wants. Cody should let the group come to a consensus rather than trying to decide for himself how to split things up. Cody still hasn't found the balls to sit down and talk with Mary and Janelle about how they plan on paying things off and settling things. Cody doesn't think Janelle and Mary will end up on the land. He sees Coyote Pass as a source of heartbreak. Cody is a glutton for punishment. He needs to understand this is all self-imposed heartbreak through his abusive and toxic behavior to his family. The bride has asked Cody and Robin to attend the wedding, even though they don't want to go. Robin is nervous. It's very tense, and she's very concerned about Saul and Ari getting caught up in everything. Robin doesn't want her kids to get hurt. Cody doesn't want to be there. He says he doesn't want people looking at him but not talking to him. So Cody can treat his kids and his wives like shit, and he can be cruel, he can be manipulative, he can be angry and resentful towards them, he can lie on them, but Cody just can't handle a few dirty looks and a few cold shoulders. The big man, the self-proclaimed alpha male that he claims he is in earlier seasons, can't take the heat. Cody's fragile ego can't take the dirty looks that he might get. That's how insecure this man is. But, does Cody consider the hurt and the suffering, the emotional suffering that his kids and his wives had to endure, and how they had to endure that publicly because of his toxic, abusive behavior and his mental state as he filmed this TV show? Yet again, we have Cody making everything all about himself. He's selfish. His wounds to his ego take precedence over everyone and everything else. Cody's emotions are his priority. His pride, his resentment come before everyone else's emotions. Cody doesn't care who he inflicts pain on with his cruel, emotionally abusive behavior. but he cares about his feelings and his emotions. Never mind how his behavior affects the emotions of everyone around him. Cody wants to hide from the world. He can't handle a few ugly stares at this wedding. But yet, he expects his kids and his ex-wives to handle his constant slings and arrows. And when they talk about Cody's toxicity, when they discuss the damage done, Cody labels that as shit talking. And he plays the world's tiniest violin for himself. Pity me, they're shit talking. Oh, and he forced his ex-wives and his kids to endure much worse from him. Imagine what they had to go through. Imagine how they feel. We don't see them cowering in their houses, afraid to show their faces. Cody's a coward. He seems weak and insecure, and those ex-wives and his kids are much stronger than Cody to be able to endure what he put them through and everything else, and to still move forward and live peaceful, happy lives. The kids move forward, the ex-wives move forward, and Cody and Robin seem to stagnate in their cesspool of misery. And it's no wonder with the cost Cody paid to be rid of the obstacle to his goals in life. Now, the coward refuses to show himself at this wedding. He doesn't want to go because of the shit talking, and he can't take the dirty stares. He can't handle it because he won't be the hero, he won't be in the limelight, and his ego can't take it. His ego's going to get starved rather than fed. Now, Cody bitches that he is still hurt by everything that has happened. Guess what, Kotex? You are no victim. No one gives a fuck about you. Maybe Cody should think of his ex-wives and of his kids and the hurt he caused them. When is Cody going to understand it's not about his hurt? No one cares. This hurt Cody feels is self-inflicted with his own bad behavior. But his ex-wives and his kids, they didn't ask for or deserve the hurt he so cruelly, intentionally inflicted on them. Maybe Cody should focus more on the hurt he caused his family and less on his hurt. That would be far too inconvenient for him. That would take far too much fortitude the man doesn't have. Cody doesn't have the fortitude to take accountability. It seems Robin already has Cody's dry, desiccated balls in a jar by her nightstand so she can manifest her vision boards with her voodoo spells. Cody's too hurt. He isn't in a place where he can forgive everyone. Not yet. This delusional asshole thinks the ex-wives and the kids owe him apologies. This man better get on his knees and start begging for the forgiveness of his family. It's the other way around. The apologies that should be made, the only apologies should be from Cody to his kids and Cody to his ex-wives. He really, really is a ballless wonder. Now, Christine recalls the last wedding the family all went to. It was Aspen and Mitch's wedding over 4 years ago. A lot has happened since then. Robin says back then they were a team still. Christine says she and Cody, they got along so well that day. She didn't know she was leaving at that point. And Robin feels the pain looking back. She says she doesn't know what's real anymore. Robin has a very hard time with grasping reality, just like her husband. They're both delusional. She just admitted here she doesn't know what's real anymore. You know, at least she knows she's delusional. Now, Cody recalls Aspen's wedding. He says Aspen got married 6 weeks before the move to Flagstaff. It was the family's last hurrah. Cody admits Aspen's wedding was wonderful. Even for he and Christine as a married couple together, it was wonderful. Christine reflects and she feels they aren't the same family they were at Aspen and Mitch's wedding. This is a different family. And Christine makes it clear that McKelty, the family mediator, she gets along with everyone. She just wants everyone to get along. She wants peace. McKelty can't come to this wedding. She is on bed rest, so she won't be attending the wedding. She's pregnant with twins. She's due in a few weeks. So Christine is really nervous about how the wedding will go in Vegas. So now we're in Vegas. It's the wedding day. Janelle is really nervous about the initial interaction between everyone. And then after it's all done, she really doesn't care. She just wants to enjoy herself. And Cody says, between he and Christine, it's hostile. Janelle has her makeup done and she looks gorgeous. But before the wedding, she's nervous. She has butterflies. No one knows what they're going to get with Cody. Now, Janelle says her kids are upset with their dad. She knows they won't make a scene. They won't do anything stupid. That they're just going to ignore their dad and just act like he's not even there. Like Cody and Robin don't even exist. That's how there will be peace. Now, Robin feels that the kids don't need to be involved in the issues with their parents. Right. But Robin had no problem putting her kids in confessionals to further the narrative that some of the other kids refused to accept them as siblings. And one of her kids was bitching that the parents didn't do enough to make their kids accept them as siblings. She involves her own kids in adult stuff, but she wants to comment on everyone else. The kids are all adults mostly. They see with their eyes, they think with their brains and their fully formed frontal lobes, they hear with their ears, and they know the dynamics. They have seen the way their father has treated them. They have seen the way their father has neglected their siblings. They have seen the way their father has treated their mothers. So as adults, if they don't want relationships with their dad or they want to stand up to him in regards to what they believe is right for themselves and their moms and for their siblings, they have every right, and it discounts and invalidates their feelings when it's insinuated that they're being inserted into this or that some of the ex-wives are influencing them, as if they don't speak, think, and act for themselves as full-grown adults. Janelle wishes things weren't like this. Christine recalls that the last time all four of the adults were together was Isabel's graduation party a year and a half ago. And Christine admits they all say a lot behind each other's backs, and she herself hates hearing about what is said about her. So Christine hopes they can all behave. So note that everyone plans to ignore Cody and Robin or to be civil or to be friendly. And Cody is the one expecting war, wanting war, anticipating negativity, anticipating shit talking. Maybe if Cody acted right, he wouldn't be too ashamed and too afraid to show his face at family events. Maybe Cody could start with taking accountability and it wouldn't be so awkward. So there were no cameras at the wedding. So now Janelle is home from the wedding and she says it was bittersweet because the family didn't really all talk to each other. Cody and Robin were separate and Christine and Janelle sat together with their kids. Mary was there. Janelle nodded at her. Cody and Robin sat elsewhere. Janelle knows she waved at Mary. She saw her, but it was weird. Mary felt being at the wedding was very awkward. Some people in the family don't want to interact with Mary. So Mary says she's in the middle of the breakup and she feels very weird about all of this. Mary just decided she was going to hang out with the people who were okay with her being there. So Janelle says Cody did say hi to her a few times in passing and it was weird. And she feels really unsure about it. She is happy now that things are over with Cody, but it's weird for her after 30 years. And she admits that she and Cody have both said mean things to each other when they were each trying to justify why they feel the way they do. I have a feeling Cody was a lot crueler than Janelle ever could be. Cody complains that he wasn't in the place of honor. He wasn't the hero at this wedding. He and Robin attended and they were put in the corner in the back, all the way out of sight, out of mind. And as Cody is bitching about this, I can't help but think of Patrick Swayze's iconic line, "Nobody puts baby in the corner," but they just did. Now, Cody jokes that he was put there for his safety probably, and he's cynically laughing about this. They were kept out of sight in the back, and Robin felt it wasn't right that the family wasn't together. It's not right that they aren't one family. Right, but she had no problem being the favorite wife and prioritizing herself and her kids and Cody over the larger family, over what was best for her ex-sister wives, over what was best for their kids. It's just so sad that they aren't one family, but she lives in that roof paid for by Mary and Janelle, and she has no intentions of trying to pay them back, and she has no problem sleeping at night knowing they paid for her roof. They secured that home she's in. She would never be there without them, but she's the victim of this family that just won't accept her. And oh, I'm so sad. They're not one family. I'm a victim. I am so sick of her bullshit. Robin recalls that some of the family came up and hugged her, and she was excited that she got an I love you from Gabe. Now, Cody saw Janelle at the wedding, and he says he didn't want to talk to her. He didn't even want to see her. It was hard for him. And he says whether he is right or wrong, it still feels like deep wounds of betrayal for him. Deep wounds of betrayal? Maybe he should grow a pair. What about the deep wounds of betrayal he gouged in his kids and in his ex-wives? It's all about his wounds, his pain, his betrayal. What about what he inflicted on them? Cody will never have the capacity to look at anyone beyond himself. It's pathetic that he thinks he's more important than his family. It's pathetic that he thinks he is a victim, that he pities himself. His ego comes ahead of his family, his pride ahead of his children. Cody's children love him. Imagine how betrayed they feel by him as a father. They don't even recognize who he is anymore. Cody needs to consider the deep wounds of betrayal that his kids have suffered. Those kids deserve a lot of validation and a lot of accountability. They deserve apologies for the wounds Cody caused, for the betrayal he did to them and his ex-wives. This isn't about Cody, but Cody can't see past his own weak, fragile ego and the host of insecurities he has to put himself in anyone else's shoes and prioritize them as a father. I would love to see Cody put himself in his kids' shoes. Feel those wounds of betrayal and then talk about your own. You're not a victim. Cody says there were many family members who said hi to him. They said, I love you. And then they got away from him as fast as they possibly could. I wonder why. I wonder why no one wants anything to do with him. I also love how Cody still isn't sure whether this was right or wrong, whether he's in the right or in the wrong. It just shows how lost to reality this man is. Cody tried to enjoy the wedding. He tried to partake in the fun, but it was awkward. And Janelle felt weird at the wedding. He says she and Cody acted like they were just acquaintances. Cody saw Christine there and he ignored her. And Cody says he felt like people were trying to look like they were having more fun than they were just to shove it in his face. They were trying to act like they were having so much fun, way more fun than him, just to get back at him. That's how childish and immature this guy is. He saw his kids having fun, his ex-wives enjoying themselves, and in his mind, they were intentionally exaggerating the fun they were having just to shove it in his face, just to get back at him. That's how delusional he is. Cody's obstacles that he wanted to free himself of, his family, occupy his mind rent-free 24/7. And to him, it's always a war. It's a tit for tat. So much so that even Cody, seeing a moment of innocence, his ex-wives and kids truly having fun from their hearts, Cody had to twist it into some type of obscure slight to him. As if they were just playing at having a good time just to get to him, to make him jealous. That's just how delusional and sick this guy is. This is how out of touch with reality he is. He sees his family full of light, enjoying a family event, and he twists it into shadows and negativity because he stews in his own misery. And everything is about him. Cody's ex-wives and his kids live in his mind rent-free all day, every day. It's him versus them. Everything is a slight. Everything is an insult. Everything is intentional. When the reality is his wives and kids really enjoy each other. They enjoy life and they live in the light. Cody isn't even on their minds at all. They aren't thinking of him, but he just can't stop thinking of them rent-free 24/7, full occupancy. He freed himself from his obstacles to his goals in life, yet they will haunt him maybe for the rest of his life. Ghosts will be wandering his mind. That's Cody's karma. Cody says it's a teenage drama. That's what these divorces have been. He says they don't like him and it's civil war. Total civil war. As long as Cody maintains this us versus them war, civil war attitude, anger, hostility, they're doing this to one-up me, they're shit-talking, they're this, they're that, it's this team versus that. As long as he has that mentality that they're two separate teams and not one family, Cody will never move forward. Everyone else will get to move forward, and Cody will be stuck in his misery. And that's on Cody. I hope he stews in it. Robin wasn't happy with the way Cody was treated at the wedding, and she feels like there could have been more positive interactions there. Janelle knows it's over, but it bugs her. It hurts her to see the state of the family. But she knows she wouldn't change the trajectory of where she is going in life. So Janelle now needs a few days to process things, and she is really glad they won't be doing family events all the time. This wedding was sad for Cody. He laments that they used to go places as a family, and now the women who were his partners are like his enemies. Cody's ex-wives are the mothers of his kids. Cody should treat them with the utmost respect and kindness and empathy and compassion. He should do all he can to make things civil and peaceful. He should do all he can to be humble and to take accountability and to change his ways. And instead, he continues to view everyone like enemies on different teams. And Cody will never move forward. The rest of the family will move forward together in love and peace and light. And Cody will be miserable because of his bad mental state, because of the way he chooses to perceive things. He could easily decide to perceive these women not as his enemies, but as the mothers of his kids. He could apologize for his mistakes. He could take accountability and try to at least be civil and peaceful and friendly. Instead, Cody would rather cower in his house and hide because he's afraid of shit talking and stares. If he acted like a man, if he tried to do the right thing, if he tried to take accountability, things would be better for him. If he changed his perception of his mind from a negative mindset to these are the mothers of my kids. We are all one family. I love my kids. I had these children with these women. I respect them. I made mistakes with them. I'm sorry we had to go through all that pain. I made mistakes. I take accountability for the hurt I caused. If he really meant it and he really took accountability and he really made an effort and he viewed everyone as being on the same team, even though things didn't work out in the marriages, things would go much different for him. But Cody chooses his mentality. Cody chooses to see these women as his enemies, the mother of his kids. Earlier, he said it's a civil war. Cody's doing this to himself and Cody's doing this to the family. Christine says it's just very awkward. She doesn't know how to solve it. She says separations are harder than she thought they were and divorces are harder than she thought they would be. Now, Cody rehashes Christine and he says when she moved his stuff out of the house and she told him she didn't want him to stay there anymore, that felt like a betrayal. Does Cody know how much of a betrayal it must have felt like for Christine and her daughter when Cody refused to attend her major surgery? Or maybe when he tried to use sex as a bargaining chip to make Christine give Robin more deference? That's betrayal. That's betrayal. Now, Christine had every right to tell Cody not to stay there and to set boundaries after he made it clear he expected her to live in a loveless, sexless marriage unless she could kiss Robin's ass. Now, Cody wasn't sure Christine was serious back then, and now he realizes how stupid he was. He says he realizes it would have been better for the whole family if they broke up as friends so the family could still attend get-togethers, but instead it polarized everybody because he didn't stay on good terms with Christine. Now, Cody underestimated Christine and her role in the family as a nurturer. She's the beating heart of the Brown family. And he didn't expect that when she left, that Janelle and all the kids, everyone would support her. The core of the Brown family would remain together even without him. They don't give a fuck if he's not there. It's easier if he's not there and they don't have to deal with his bullshit and bad mental state and they don't have to walk on eggshells to appease him. So they maintained that heart of the family without him there, and it's even better without him. And Cody wasn't expecting that. So now he realizes in hindsight, oh, if I didn't see her as my enemy, if I was kinder, if I was gentler, if we were more civil, if I was more civil, things would have gone better. Yet notice what he's doing. He regrets not being more friendly, more peaceful, more loving, but he's still calling it a civil war and saying his wives are like his enemies. Who did that? Not the wives. Cody did this all to his family and to himself. He's saying he sees the error of his ways, that he should have been friendlier to Christine, But still, we see him repeating the same behavior, calling his wives enemies, saying they're going to be shit-talking him, calling it a civil war. Cody is the one who maintains that mindset. Cody thinks at this point he and Mary are officially broken up. He thinks. And he says if he and Mary were both single, he wouldn't date her. He's already said that more than once. We already know he would have no interest in being with Mary if she were the last woman on earth. We know, but he keeps wanting to hammer it in. He keeps wanting to be cruel. Cody gets off on cruelty. That's the kind of guy he is. So Mary is pissed that Cody dragged this out so long, and Cody says he doesn't blame her for that. Cody is looking at this triple breakup with Christine and Janelle and Mary, and he doesn't want Mary to reveal what a dog he is. He doesn't want her to use her voice and speak the truth on him. That's the path that Christine and Janelle have chosen, and he doesn't want Mary to take that path too. So he admits he doesn't need any more enemies right now with Mary. So Cody wants to avoid Mary taking the same road that Christine and Janelle did. So he wants to try and be friends with Mary and move on. Cody was cruelest to Mary, at least publicly. And we know the horrific things he did behind closed doors, like melting the ring down, abandoning her as a husband, talking shit on her constantly, being cruel with the intention to push Mary away. So Cody is afraid now that Mary will use her voice and tell the truth about him. So now he wants to be friends now that she has agreed to leave once and for all. So Cody is really trying to keep a muzzle on Mary. He's afraid of what she could reveal, and he knows she's pissed off, and he knows she has a potential to really use her voice, and he feels threatened. So of course, he learned from Janelle and Christine, oh, I better try to be friendly with Mary. It's not going to hold. Cody is afraid of Mary. He's threatened by her now because she's in a position where she could really speak on him. And I have a feeling Mary is going to say much more than we ever imagined she would. That's Mary's story to tell, when and if and how she wants to. And it's no one else's story to tell. But if she decides to tell it, I am all ears. Cody admits that he and Janelle don't communicate much. But here we see just how mentally unwell Cody allegedly might potentially be, in my opinion. Cody doesn't understand yet, at this point, why he and Janelle can't reconcile. Of course, Cody doesn't want to lose Janelle. Cody doesn't want to lose his money tree, the family breadwinner. Should bad go to worse, Cody knows Goblin isn't going to find gainful employment beyond the TLC check. So he needs a breadwinner wife, and Janelle is gone. Now, Janelle adds that when they moved to Flagstaff, Cody found it easier to be away. And she reminded him a few times in the beginning that he needed to be at her house. And he would make excuses on her nights. He would bitch that he was too tired. Oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to leave Robin's. And Janelle would remind him that he could rest just as easily at her house as he could at Robin's. So everything became very separate in Flagstaff. Cody wasn't doing equal time. Cody has to be very low IQ, and very out of touch with reality if he really doesn't know at this point why he and Janelle can't reconcile. Or maybe he learned to play dumb from Robin. Next, we get to see the father of the year, Cody, with all of the goblin spawn and goblin at the goblin's lair, and they are playing games. They're having a game night. And Robin says there are more relationships in the family that are struggling now. So Robin tries to talk. She tries to mend relationships. She calls the kids, but the kids don't answer her back. They ignore her. So she guesses they aren't ready. Guess what? They're never going to be ready. Robin is toxic. If she was my stepmom, I would not want any type of a relationship with her. I would block the number, end of story, and never look back. Even if you communicate back things will be twisted, things will be manipulated, things will be leveraged, and life is way too short to deal with people like her and to have toxic people in your life. I don't blame anyone who wants nothing to do with her. If her behavior in life is anything like how she conducts herself on the show, I would want nothing to do with her. Life is way too short. Cody says when he talks to Janelle about their relationship, she tells him she is really enjoying her time away from him. Robin is really mad about what they did to their family. She says they collectively messed with something that was working. Who was it working for? It wasn't working really since Vegas behind closed doors. It was only working for Robin, the favorite wife. In my opinion, it stopped working when Cody met and fell in love with Robin and when he prioritized her and her kids over the other wives and kids and the larger family. Cody's priorities shifted from the larger family to Robin and her kids, where he got to be the hero and it was convenient and his ego got fed. So, of course, he gravitated there. He likes convenience. Cody wanted to be free from the obstacles to his goals in life, his family. From the second Robin entered the picture, Robin can say that they all collectively did this, but this started with Robin wanting the man more than the family, and it started with her prioritizing Cody over the larger family. Cody prioritized Robin and her kids over everyone else, and it showed. Robin and Cody did this to the family. Their behavior, their prioritization of themselves and their relationship over the larger family is what led here. This is on Cody and Robin alone. It's not on the other wives. They did nothing to this family. They always sacrificed for the larger family. Janelle sacrificed for the larger family as breadwinner. Christine sacrificed for the larger family as a nurturer and caregiver. Cody intentionally alienated his wives and his kids. He pushed out all of his wives. He pushed out all of his kids intentionally with the goal of ridding himself of them. They were his obstacles. And now Robin doesn't get to go back and feel sorry for herself while trying to grieve a family she never wanted, blaming everyone collectively when she enabled Cody to burn it down. This is on Robin and this is on Cody. The wives had no choice but to leave after Cody was emotionally abusive and manipulative and toxic and neglectful with them, with his kids. This isn't on the collective. This is on Robin and this is on Cody. Don't get it twisted. It's not on the collective at all. Now, Cody says he has a family in his house with his wife, Robin, and every summer the girls do music and their guitars, and she and Cody and the kids play games. That's his whole life. His daily life is Robin and the kids, and they have a nice family experience perpetually. It's easy, it's convenient, of course, and Cody loves playing the hero. Now, Robin says, right now, Saul and Ari aren't tracking what's happening in the family. They went through COVID, and that prepped them for the separation that is happening now. So Robin is pity begging, and she thinks she can make Saul and Ari victims of the larger family as well. It's gross for Robin to use her little kids who don't even know what's going on to try and shop for pity to be the victim. How low can Robin get, really? Robin says she is struggling with the idea of whether or not she should remind Saul and Ari of their siblings and talk about them, or if she should show them their pictures, because then it will create the question in their minds, and Saul and Ari will wonder where their siblings are, and they will wonder why they don't see them, or why they don't send birthday cards, or why they don't come to their parties. They will wonder where they are and why they aren't here. Let's remember the last party they went to at Robin's house, that birthday for Ari, how many of them got COVID out of the experience because of the nanny? So maybe that's one reason they don't want to come around. And usually when people are invited to Robin's house, what does she do with the women? They paid for that roof. She keeps them outside next to the fire pits, freezing their asses off. They're very rarely invited in. So most people probably don't want to come around. Robin says Saul and Ari sometimes ask if their whole family is coming, and Robin has to tell them no. Oh, I'm sure Saul and Ari are just broken apart over this. She is trying to pity farm, and it's gross. She needs to zip it. Now, Janelle says with Robin there was always a separateness. Her kids were always scolded when they were in her house if they even opened up Robin's fridge. Of course, I remember the time, and I believe it was season 1 or 2, when one of Christine's kids got scolded for getting a bowl of cereal. Robin scolded them, and she complained that they were just supposed to get a snack, not a whole bowl of cereal because cereal in her mind isn't a snack. And she bitched about having to restock everything as if her sister wives weren't the ones paying for her groceries. If any kid is hungry and wants to eat, you shouldn't give a fuck. You should feed them. It seems to me like Robin is just too lazy to go to the store to restock. Mary says when Robin joined the family, there was a lot of tension, there was a lot of conflict, because whenever somebody new comes in, that's what happens. Now, Robin says Mary was very accepting of her and the kids, but the rest of the family struggled to accept her and her kids. Now, when Robin gets angry, she starts shrieking out, "Oh, me and my kids!" Now, when she gets angry, her jowls flare and the meat cleavers she calls eyebrows raise to add drama. Her next statement is pleading that all they wanted was to be a part of this family. Yes, guys, in case we didn't catch it already, Robin and her kids are victims. They're victims. All they wanted was to be a part of this family, of the mean, big, bad family. They're bullies. They feel entitled to get more deference from this family, and they're pissed that their rings didn't get kissed sufficiently, and that's all this is. The family was accepting of Robin and her kids as much as they could be. They included them in everything. Those relationships are not something that is always natural. Those relationships are not something Robin and her kids are entitled to just because Robin married Cody. They're just pissed that it didn't happen in the idealistic fantasy way Robin pictures in her mind that she posts on her vision board. Christine did her best to include Robin and her kids in all the family traditions. Even when it was uncomfortable, Robin and her kids were always included because Robin and her kids weren't universally loved and the family favorites and above everyone else. They felt they were entitled to more from the family than what the family gave. And those relationships that they want to force on the family, they felt entitled for it to be a fairy tale. And when they got less than the fairy tale they pictured in their mind, they took that as a rejection. And that's on them. You can't force love. You can't force a history. You can't force those relationships that aren't naturally there in a blended family. You take what you can get. You take what naturally happens. The Browns did everything they could to include Robin and her kids. If it wasn't the fantasy relationships that they pictured in their head where they're loved and adored, just the family favorites whose sun shines out of their ass. If they didn't get that perfect, idealistic vision that they pictured in their mind, that they posted on their vision boards, they interpreted that as rejection, when they should have been humble and appreciated the relationships that they did find. It's not all going to be perfect. It's not all going to be flowers and rainbows and sprinkles in a blended family. And it's Robin's job to manage the expectations of her children. It's not on the Brown family to make those expectations a reality just because Robin wants it to be so. We don't live in a fantasy world. We live in the real world. It's a blended family. Get over it. Robin and her kids aren't entitled to these relationships, and you can't force what isn't naturally there. You can't force that love. And just because they didn't get the deference they wanted, they have no right to sit and turn the tables and act like they're the victims of this family, because they're not. They were more included than most blended families usually do. Also doesn't help that Robin was the favorite wife. She got all of Cody's time, all of his investment, all of his presence and communication and effort. Cody even babysat Robin's kids. He made an effort to connect with them because they live in fairy tale land where they want everything smooth and convenient, and they kiss Cody's ass. They make him the hero, so Cody gets his ego fed. Cody prefers to go there because he gets his ego fed, and it's easy for him there. The other kids see Robin's kids getting this preferential treatment and this full investment from Cody as he ignores and neglects them. And then on top of that, they see their mothers neglected. They see their mothers mistreated. And even if they all tolerated Robin and her kids, it would be natural for them that they aren't going to love Robin and her kids the way they were expecting in their fantasy version of things. They might tolerate Robin and her kids. They might be civil to her, but it's not going to be the bond or the relationship with Robin and her kids that they feel entitled to. It's not going to be the deference they feel entitled to. This is natural with the dynamic and with the situation and with the way Robin and her kids manipulate emotionally on top of everything, that most people really would look at this and they would rather cut their liabilities than go out of their way to bond with these people just to get manipulated, just to get burned on repeat. Nothing was ever enough for Robin and her kids, and they aren't entitled to these relationships. They got civility, they got inclusion, they got warmth, they got friendliness, they got love. It was never enough. They expected more and they felt entitled to more. Plus, they all seem very needy. And when you see all that, most people will run and say, beyond basic civility, it's just not worth it. The Brown family was more than gracious. They welcomed them. They included them. They aren't obligated to give more than that. They aren't obligated to force friendships and relationships just because Robin and her kids came with that selfish, unrealistic expectation. This is a blended family. Get over it. Christine reveals that her kids didn't like going over to Robin's because they saw that Robin and their dad were a couple, they were romantic, and they saw that Cody wasn't acting as if he was in a romantic couple with their mom. And we know Cody is warm and invested and affectionate and communicative with Robin. And with Christine, he makes it clear he was never attracted to her, even though she's gorgeous. And he also used intimacy and affection with Christine as leverage for Christine to do whatever Cody wanted her to do, which was her being friendlier to Robin, kissing her ring, showing more deference to her. So of course, Christine's kids see Cody respecting Robin, treating her with love, being communicative, and with Christine, he is cold, he's manipulative, he's calculating, he's neglectful, he's distant, he's demanding, he's moody, they all have to walk on eggshells. And of course, they're going to feel some kind of way about it. And they wonder, well, why can dad treat Robin and her kids so well? How can he be so invested there when he is so cold and distant and absent at their house, just phoning it in like a chore he doesn't want to do when he shows up? They feel the disparity, they see it, they know it. So of course, it would hurt the kids to go to Robin's house and see what they wish their dad would act like with them and their mom. Who would want to go there? Who would want to see that? Cody wants to rewrite history, and he says he and Christine were always romantic at her house. Cody recalls Robin coming into the family, and he says that memory doesn't come with as much angst and struggle and frustration as they had 30 years ago with his marriage with Mary and Janelle and Christine coming into the family. The experience of that coming together was difficult for years. Next, Cody recalls Ari saying once that she didn't like Christine. Cody says he corrected Ari, telling her she didn't really know Christine well enough to like her or not. And Ari told him Christine left her dad, so she doesn't like her. Now, Cody appreciated the loyalty that Ari showed, and he understood her, and he tried to correct Ari. But he says that same loyalty she has for him is happening among others in the family, but Ari is the youngest, so she can act like a child. So basically, Cody's insinuating that the loyalty Christine and Janelle and their kids have without Cody there is a childish loyalty because it's not loyalty to him. It's not the loyalty he expects to be given to him. Now, all Ari hears is adult talk between Robin and Cody, and I don't think she understands anything. All she sees is dad is angry, and we know Robin and Cody talk about adult things not suitable for kids in front of Ari. And we know that because Ari told Christine on the day she was leaving that she should go on more dates when she was leaving Flagstaff. Now, only a kid who overhears adult conversations acts like that. What Cody is construing as Ari's loyalty is her just still being a kid, understanding life and the world from a child's perspective, where her father is the hero, the white knight who can do no wrong still. Now, Cody is always very invested with his kids at the hero stage when it's convenient, but he will pull back even with Ari once she grows up and he is no longer the hero, and it's no longer so convenient. You know, when Ari has a shred of constructive criticism as she gets older, when she talks back, when she grows up and she realizes her dad isn't the white knight she thought he was, and she has a lot to say about that, Cody will become less invested and more absent and more distant, just like he pulled away from all the rest of his older kids when they got past the convenient hero stage. The second it's inconvenient, Cody cleaves off. Next, Cody talks of a meltdown Ari had when Cody was leaving to go to Janelle's. Ari grabbed his leg, she wouldn't let go. Cody asked Robin to help, and Robin told him that Ari was just expressing herself and that Cody had to take 5 minutes to let her do it. So Cody explained to Ari that he had other moms and kids to see. Ari still wouldn't let go of his leg. She was screaming, "Don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me." So Cody says it was really hard to leave her. So all of the moms, other kids in the family can handle Cody doing a rotation with another wife and her kids. Only Robin's kids need an exception where Cody just can't leave. Oh, it's too much. That sounds like really bad parenting. Now, Janelle says her kids knew from day one that Cody wouldn't always be there. And Janelle always felt like Cody and Robin mismanaged the situation with her kids. It was to the point that Cody couldn't be away from Robin for more than 3 or 4 days because Ari gets so out of sorts about it. So Janelle says she feels that was poor parenting. I agree. Now, Janelle says throughout the whole family's history, all the rest of the kids in the family had no problem with Cody having to leave to see another mom and her kids. The favorite wife, Robin, gets a different standard for herself and her kids. If she tells Cody, listen, you can't be away for more than this amount of days, Cody will oblige her. Cody doesn't mind. Cody will even babysit. When Christine needed a babysitter and she was in a high-risk pregnancy and all she needed was Cody to not even babysit her kids, just to tuck them in at night, Cody refused, even when they all lived in the same house, saying that was more than the other wives got. But he has no problem doing for Robin anything she wants. She gets different standards as the favorite wife. So if he can only be away for a certain amount of days and he has to maybe miss Isabel's major surgery, that's no problem. Robin takes precedence. Ari is more important. Saul is more important. Their emotions at him leaving are more important than Cody's other wives and kids getting equal time and investment from their father. Janelle says all the kids made it and they're all well-adjusted adults. And Janelle is right. It is poor parenting, and it's also an excuse for Robin to control Cody and for Cody to avoid his responsibilities using Ari as an excuse. Not only is it poor parenting and spoiled, entitled behavior from Ari and her mom, it is also unfair to the other wives and kids in this plural family. If Robin is all about the family, why does Ari deserve her dad there while the other kids should live as if they live in a single parent household where their dad is never around? Why is Robin okay with that? Robin doesn't give a fuck about how any of the other kids in the family felt when Cody neglected them, provided her kids got what she feels they are entitled to from him. Robin doesn't give a fuck about this family, in my opinion. Robin says Ari loves her dad, she wants to be around her dad, but Robin asks, did it ever stop Cody from going to another mom's home? And Robin says no, it didn't, because she wouldn't have allowed it. She wouldn't have allowed it, but she damn sure allowed for Cody to let Isabel suggest that she go alone to her major surgery, with Cody making the excuse that he couldn't leave for more than a few days because he had the other kids to attend to, Robin's kids to attend to. If Ari were having that major spine surgery with recovery in the ICU, would Robin be cool with Cody not going, or Cody suggesting to Ari to fly across the country alone to undergo this major surgery? I'm just wondering, I'm just asking for a friend. Would Robin be okay if Cody didn't make it to her kids' major surgery? Robin and her kids always got different standards than any of the other moms or kids in the family. They got special treatment, and it didn't matter who got neglected as a result, as long as they got what they felt they were entitled to from Cody. Now, Robin wants to make it clear that she is the world's biggest victim, and she feels bad for herself, and she wants us viewers to feel sorry for her too, and all she is going through because this is about Goblin, guys. She is a victim. We need to remember, she is a victim. Get the violin out. Get that violin. Now, Robin reveals she is going through mourning. She is mourning the loss. She is grieving the loss of the relationships. And she has situational depression. She's sad and she misses the family. What's sad is that this woman has such low consciousness that she is willing to sleep under the roof bought and paid for by Janelle and Mary without feeling utterly compelled to do all she can to pay them back. Robin would never be in that home without Mary and Janelle. She owes them and she should make it right, especially considering she's the legal wife. Mary gave up being the legal wife to give that to Robin. And Robin knows if she wants to leave, she and her children are financially secure off of the backs of her ex-sister wives. So Robin knows that her ex-sister wives are leaving with nothing. They're tied up in the land deal. She also knows they used a majority of their Vegas home proceeds to get her in that house. How can she sleep at night without being concerned with giving them back their fair share so they can leave and have something financially for their kids? We don't see her running to take accountability for the destruction of the family. We don't see her trying to work out how she can pay them back. She's all about the family, but she really doesn't give a fuck. She's just bitching now about her situational depression that she caused from her own serpent's tongue and toxic behavior. She is in this depression because she enabled Cody to become the monster that he is and to burn everything down. She did this with her own serpent's tongue, the family mediator. Cody hopes that with time and a few phone calls, the relationships will come back. He hopes then he will be in full fellowship with his kids again. Cody's delusional. It's going to take much more than time and a few phone calls. Cody needs to seek help. He needs to put in time and effort on repeat after taking full accountability for his toxic behavior if he wants to salvage any of the relationships at all. Now, Robin says it's not normal to see Cody smiling lately because of all the family woes. Cody is really struggling, and Robin says it's completely devastating what has happened to them. It's over the top devastation. I love how Robin frames the destruction she and Cody did to this family as what has happened to them. It happened to them. It was done to them. They are victims. These two energy vampires aren't victims. No one pities them but themselves. Nothing happened to them. In my opinion, Cody intentionally pushed every wife and child out with the intention of ridding himself of his obstacles in life, as he so lovingly referred to his family. Cody did this. Robin enabled him. They did this to themselves and to the family. They are the shitstorm. They victimized the family. They aren't the victims. They are delusional. And Robin and Cody's victims, the ex-wives and kids, are actually survivors. They survived the shitstorm of Cody and Robin. They refuse to take less than they deserve. Cody and Robin are stuck in the muck, miserable, stagnating, angry, resentful, just stagnating in that festering algae. Nothing happened to them. They intentionally burnt the family down, and the reason they are so miserable is this cost them more than they anticipated, and the world sees what shitbags these two are, as the kids and the ex-wives get to move forward and build happy, peaceful lives full of bliss and love and light and peace. Cody will never have peace, and neither will Robin. They will be as miserable as they look because karma doesn't play. Cody and Robin are free without their obstacles, but they will perpetually pay the price. They will stagnate as the world around them pushes forward. They did this to themselves. Nothing happened to them. They aren't victims. In Salt Lake, McKelty is almost due. She's seeing Dr. Bean. Dr. Bean is Christine's old doctor when she had Truly. So McKelty really wants a natural birth, so they're seeing how big the babies are. Both babies are breached, so Dr. Bean has McKelty set up for a C-section. McKelty prefers a natural birth. Janelle prefers that McKelty has a natural birth because she's had a C-section, and she says it's a really hard recovery. So all the wives prefer natural home births. It's the easiest recovery, drug-free, and they know that the C-section is going to come with a lot of pain and healing time. Christine was raised that natural home births are the way to go, but she also feels that the experience with Truly taught her that an epidural kicks ass. So of course, Mykelti prefers safe and healthy kids and being safe herself, being healthy herself, versus something going wrong. And Cody himself prefers natural home births to the hospital. When Mykelti has the C-section, it's going to be awkward because Christine and Robin will have to wait outside. So Dr. Bean and Christine recall Truly's birth. Christine was in the hospital about to give birth, and Cody and Dr. Bean were talking about Mary's infertility issues. Dr. Bean, of course, knew that they were polygamists. I also recall during Truly's birth, Cody going home to pick up one of his kids to come to the birth, Christine's water having just broke, and her waiting alone in the hospital while Cody takes time to make out with Robin. So now it's a day before the C-section, and Janelle is very excited. Robin feels it's a really big deal to be there and to be a grandma, and she really wants to support Mykelti through this. So Robin really hopes that Christine is cool about this. She doesn't want any more stress or drama. She says she cares about Christine and she wants Christine to be happy, and she respects and honors Christine's position as Mykelti's mom. Should we give her a prize for that? Because that's how it should be. So Robin drove from Flagstaff to Utah, and on the way she picked up Maria, Tony's mom, in St. George. So Robin says that Tony and Mykelti told her they wanted her at the birth, and Robin decided that she would put aside her hurt, she would put aside her sadness and her feelings of betrayal, and she would do all this for Mykelti at the birth because all that stuff is between she and Christine. Janelle defends Mykelti. She says she knows Mykelti gets criticized over her relationship with Robin, but that Mykelti has a good relationship with Robin. And Robin came in at an important time for Mykelti. She was valuable for Mykelti as a teenage girl. So Janelle doesn't think any of the kids should be denied. They shouldn't be looked down on for having relationships with Robin if they want to. Cody adds that Mykelti and Robin had a special experience, and that experience improved the relationship he and Christine had with Mykelti when Robin first joined the family. So Mykelti at this point was trying to figure out who she was, and she says Robin made her feel special, Robin made her feel seen. Robin was there for Mykelti when Mykelti needed somebody to hear her and to love her, and Robin gave her a chance to be heard. So Mykelti never told Christine Robin would be there at the birth. Christine knows how close Mykelti and Robin are, so Christine just always knew Robin would be there. Christine knows that she and Robin are going to have to wait in the waiting room together, and she knows it'll be awkward. And Robin feels there is a lot of pain there, and she doesn't know how Christine will react, but she plans to play nice. So the birth went fine, the C-section went fine, the twins are healthy, everyone is overjoyed. Now, Cody knows Robin and Christine are together at the birth, and he wonders how much they're interacting. He doesn't know what the experience will be like. Mykelti says that Christine and Robin, they aren't there for each other. They aren't there for anybody else. They are there for her, and it's honoring and it's humbling and it's special for them to be there because this is one of the most memorable moments of her life, and she appreciates sharing it with both of them, and she considers them both moms. Now, Robin holds one twin and Christine holds the other one, and Robin really tries hard to squeeze out a tear in confessional as she talks about that moment. She pauses, saying it was kind of like they were holding grandbabies together. But Robin's sad because she wishes it was under different circumstances as far as she and Christine are concerned. So Robin wipes away non-existent tears, and she says it was kind of sweet because for a moment she forgot all that. Robin says Tony and Mykelti want her and Christine there. Tony's mom is close too. And so Robin's going to stay for a few nights, and then Christine is going to come stay for a few nights. They introduce the twins to their daughter, Tony and Mykelti's daughter, Avalon. And Avalon has a hard time with it. She's stressed out. McKelty was a little heartbroken by how upset Avalon was, but Avalon was realizing that these babies are human beings who also belong to mommy and daddy, and she's realizing now she's not the only one in the universe. And I'm sure that's very stressful and overwhelming for a toddler. Everything in her whole world just changed. Janelle says having a plural family, they all live together, so it was different than having two parents and one child. Cody had 3 wives before he had any kids, so they all pitched in with the babies. Cody doesn't personally recall any of his kids being specifically weirded out by a new baby in the family. Mary doesn't know if their kids had time to grow up to be a toddler to even wonder, well, who is this other child? Mary says there was always another baby coming. Cody reveals that weird stuff happened when they had the first child in the family, Logan. And there was a mother that was jealous. Cody says Christine got jealous when Logan was born. Now, Christine explains that Logan was lovely. She was at that point going through the first year of being in plural marriage. It was very hard, and Christine felt like she lost her identity completely. Cody explains that having all those kids that young, they were all involved, and it was supposed to be this extremely benevolent experience of raising the kids together. And now that it has all come apart for Cody, he is wondering, was it this kind, benevolent experience, or was it suppressed jealousy or suppressed rage? Cody doesn't know when he looks back. He doesn't know how to frame it. So Robin is going to take time bonding with the grandkids. Then when Robin leaves, Christine will come have bonding time with the grandkids. Maria will have the same experience as well. And Christine knows that all of Robin's kids really love McKelty, and that McKelty puts a lot on herself. She puts all of this on herself with bringing the family together and having it be her role because she gets along great with Robin and with Christine and Cody. McKelty wants to be the glue that holds the family together. She wants to be the mediator. She wants everyone to get along. And Christine realizes that Cody and Robin are grandparents to McKelty's kids as well, just like she is. And so they have every right. Now, Robin finds it crazy because people think when they split, when they divorce, they won't have to see each other. And she knows it's not true. Robin says you will always be in each other's lives somehow. And Robin vows that she will help McKelty, and Christine is going to step in after she leaves. So Christine says having Robin there showed her that she doesn't know how long it will take for all of them to be together again and to be okay in each other's presence. She says it was awkward and it's going to be awkward for a while, and she doesn't know what the future looks like. They're going to do it for the kids. Eventually they'll get to a point where they'll be able to reunite for the kids and do family things together, but she doesn't want to get together again soon. It's going to take a lot of time for everyone to be comfortable. It's going to be awkward for a long, long time. That does it for this episode. I'll be back next week for the next episode of Sister Wives, where Cody and Robin will have their first private family Thanksgiving. That should be like watching paint dry. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.